Hey everybody, it's me, Aggie. I'm still going live on Facebook here. Forgot to fill in the details. So this is Mega Monet Day 5. Hello, I'll be right with you. 1 second. All right, now we can go live. All right, hi everybody. This is, it's me, Day 5 of our Mega Monet month. And I'm going to start another new one. I really like this. So I'm going to use that as a reference image. The last one, we skipped day 4 yesterday, by the way, if you're wondering. The last one that I started, I'm not finished with this one. It's different. I mean, it is, well, it's not different. It's a tracer. I shared a tracer for this. I'm calling it the white and yellow lily flower for 8x8. And I had a lot of fun with it. I want to continue with the detail. I find that I have to be in that kind of mood, and today I'm not in this kind of mood. A lot of times I am in this type of mood for the detail-y stuff, but not today. So I'm going to set this one aside, and there probably will be a day that I bring this one back to work on some more. I'm saving it for a day when I don't feel much like painting, because this is the most fun part for me, is kind of finishing up a painting and problem solving. This area down here, these are not quite working. I was starting to see some things work, and then I kind of lost it again a little bit. So I think I can get it back, but it's going to need some concentration. And I don't really have a lot of concentration today because I used it all up working digitally this morning. That's the way my brain works. So I just want to have fun, allowing myself to just have a fun paint session with you guys tonight. So this is a 9x12 gallery depth Premier canvas that I'm using today. And I think I'm going to prime it with magenta. Wow, they have 3 of these things in here. I wonder why they need 3 silica packets. Who knows? Oh my goodness, 4. Here's another one. Throw this in the trash. So we're doing this thing where we are doing the opposite color, complementary color for the underlayer of each item in the painting. So a lot of this is green. So the opposite of green is red. So I'm going to be using a magenta because that is a red. So I'm going to be using this. We're going to put this on all over. I don't have a big brush over here, do I? Let me grab one. And I might shift it into orange. I did recently also I bought Pyrrole Orange. Oh, is it nice? So, ooh, pretty. Kind of darker than I realized it would be. Oh, I love that orange though. Yeah, I did not realize that magenta would look that dark. Isn't that interesting? So let me get it over on the sides. Actually, if I add some water, that'll lighten it up also. So I do like to really scrub it in there and really get it into the crevices of the canvas. And another thing, when you're working on a cradled canvas, make sure you get it all the way on this rounded edge, that you get that covered. It is kind of a toothy canvas, these by Blick. I wish they weren't quite so toothy. You can get rid of some of the toothiness by putting an additional layer of gesso on it, but I didn't feel like doing that today. Yeah, so put more orange on here. Am I on camera? Yeah, I guess I am. I think what I want to do is maybe some palette knife painting. These long tendril, these long petals. I look at that and I see palette knife painting, you know? It's kind of what I was thinking. All right, I'm not going to use my expensive Pyrrole orange on the sides. I use my primary magenta. And the water helps kind of get it into the texture too, the texture of the canvas. The weave of the canvas. So I haven't put a hanger on the back of this yet or anything. And I haven't even really decided, I haven't thought about glass on most of these pieces. I probably will start thinking about that more as we get into the month. I just kind of feel like just painting, which that's what it happens to me in the summertime. I like painting more in the summer. I don't know why. Okay. Just looking around, checking all my edges. Looks pretty good. And it is a good idea to look at it from different angles, because you'd be surprised. Sometimes you realize afterwards that the tooth is, you know, there's a little white speck that you didn't cover. You thought you had it all covered. And maybe just a little more orange right there. Okay. Of course, we're going to need to let this dry, or I can, let me hit it with a dryer. If I could bring my heat gun over here. Let's try that. The first layer of paint always dries the fastest. Each successive layer that you add, it'll take a little bit longer for the paint to dry. Did you know that? Because it's plastic, you know, when you think about it, kind of makes sense. Okay, so that looks pretty. Hey, who have I got here? Hello, hello. Sorry, I didn't give much notice. I was kind of like I don't know if I feel like it. I was really getting into this just kind of lazy mode and doing some things and watching this show called Your Honor, and I just really kind of got sucked into it for a little too long. So it's got the guy that was on Breaking Bad on there. Anyway, okay, so we've got a really beautiful, oh, it's a little bit wet on the side still. So we've got this really nice, isn't that pretty? Woof, so pretty. I'm going to use my school chalk and very loosely sketch this in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use my left hand. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to use my left hand so that I'm forced to be really loose. And I'm probably going to use a palette knife to do these, but I want to at least have placement, you know, because I just feel like a palette knife would be like the perfect thing to get these petals in there. So, okay, do I want to have these crazy cup-shaped? I guess so. I don't know. They do look like that. Have you ever looked at a pond like this in person? They're very messy. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I really love this one down here. Maybe this one is the focal point. Oh, this is not as easy as you might think. Okay, so this will be this one. Then there's one here. Another one here. I mean, it doesn't have to be right on. Okay, so that was the one. Then this one is kind of touching, and it kind of cups up right here. I'd like to establish where like the base is. Okay, this one's not as dominant. I don't really like the way these two are, but I like that they're all touching. So maybe I'll have another one here, and maybe the other one will go here. I don't know, just to make it a little different. Yeah, so we kind of go boom, 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 boom. All right, so there's this thing here, there's one here, 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 here. So, I mean, I can't really draw it real well, and that's okay. This is just very obscure and loose. And you know what? So then what you do is you stand back and go, okay, are they kind of centered? Does one of them look like it's in the tic-tac-toe overlap? So, you know, our tic-tac-toe is something like this. 1, 2, and then divide this into thirds. So this one, yeah, I like how this one is landing. Also this one. And I like how the flowers are touching. So I think that'll work. I think that's good enough. All right. Now, I think I'm going to use an alcohol marker, although that chalk's going to get in my alcohol marker, isn't it? By the way, if you wanted to edit something, you could. If you wanted to get rid of some of these lines, just wet your brush and, you know, get rid of any lines you don't want. They just wipe right off. I'm just kind of thinking this through a little bit more. I need to have something going off the top. Have stuff going off the sides. That's always a good idea. This one needs a couple of petals coming down. And I'm going to put an oval where the tops of the petals are. So you kind of see these cups, if you will. This one's a little more round. I know it's probably not easy to see right now. Okay, something like that. All right. So then I would need to put like a base of green down on these petals. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I know that sounds really crazy, but I'm going to paint those in. So, and I have this green here. Maybe I'll just use this one. So this is a darker green that I mixed up the other day. And I'm going to use kind of a small brush. And again, I'm just going to kind of picture where these are. So, okay, this guy. These are the back petals. This is just going to be a guide for me for later on. Okay. A couple of these are kind of foreshortened quite a bit. Okay, that one you can make it out more, right? This one, a lot of petals on this one. Okay, something like that. All right, so do I want to fill that in now? Okay, the opposite of yellow for those centers is blue, right? Violet, really. So let's change the center into more of a purple. I'll just use maybe ultramarine blue for that. Of course, it never wants to come out of this bottle. Hold on. Oh, way too much. So it's a bluer center in there. Okay, it kind of tells us where the center of the bloom is, right? Okay, so now I want to start putting in some darker values. I think now I'm gonna switch to an alcohol marker. Let's see, where do I have those? I don't remember where I put them. Or I suppose I could use my acrylic marker. Well, maybe I'll just use paint. All right, so what I'm going to do now is make a darker red to put in these darker values of some of these areas. Just so that we start seeing these values. This is really dark right here. So I'm just going to look for where are there these dark shapes. And you know, I would say don't think about it too terribly much. Okay, so there's one here. There's a leaf here. Just look for shapes is really all I'm doing. And you know, a lot of times when you're looking at these, the pond is so messy looking, you can't really tell what's going on. You know, so I would say don't get too caught up in it. Okay, so I'm kind of just making stuff up there a little bit. That's okay. Hi, Jean. Hey, Christina. Hey, Lisa. I'm just kind of coming up with a composition here, putting in some basic values, deciding where do I maybe want to make it a little bit darker. And I really do want this guy to pop, so I'm going to put some darker values over here. By that. It's super dark right here. Okay, and here. Can't seem to get this dark enough here. Okay. So let's try this. So the one thing that I keep noticing is it's just so easy to keep running out of green paint. So that's why I mixed up these. And this one I mixed with cad yellow medium and cobalt blue. So let's get some of these lighter values in here now. So I'm going to squint and decide where are my lightest ones. There's not a lot. This one kind of. This is so cool how this one has this like cup thing going on. So we're going to let it be wild and weird and see what happens. Oh, it's kind of cool how these form like a little cup area to hold water. That's what's happening in there. Okay, and then I can blend that in a little bit to this slightly darker green now. Probably going to need a little bit of both of these on my palette. Maybe a little more Hansa. Oh, gosh, I didn't mean to get that big splash of yellow on there. And I don't think I'm going to mind if some of that red shows through. Okay, but I am going to need, I think I'm going to try my teal. Yeah. Let's try some teal mixed in here. Actually, we see some like blue over here for some reason. This is gonna be this is gonna be really crazy. No, this needs to be yellower. So yeah, I think it's important to put the strokes in the direction of the veins. I mean, eventually this is going to be all, you know, covered up. With green. I'm going to get just a little bit of my phthalo green blue shade. Let's add some. Oh, I made it into a dirty, weird green. Oh, I don't know. Let's see what happens with that. Even though I don't love it, it might work. These strokes go this way. It's really important to get that direction. Yeah, you can't always see the direction of them. So maybe if I had made these a little bit larger or a few less, perhaps. This is like the underside of this, like a brown. Yeah, I don't think I love this color a whole lot. No. Okay, so let's use this. I do see some blue up here for some reason. And of course, when I put those flowers in, that's going to really make the whole thing. So it's a matter of really trusting until you can get to that point. And it's hard. I know it's hard. Making this really dark. Oh, hey, Michelle. I don't know if it looks too, does this look easy? Oh, you can't really see my reference anymore, so let me see if I can get it back in here a little bit. Okay. Now, well, that's way too bright. Yeah, see the greens, it's a matter of making sure you got enough greens going on. It's managing the greens. So I'm gonna put some brown out so that I can desaturate some of these greens. And I'm gonna go back to this one that I made with, I had some transparent yellow oxide, Hansa yellow opaque, and ultramarine blue. Um, okay. Add a little bit of brown to this. A little bit of yellow. That's not bad. It's hard to find a green I really love. You know? And then I keep running out when I finally do get something. Okay, this one is just way, I don't know why I made that so light. It's like you got to come up with a simple way to paint a lily pad. And it's okay to let little peaks of red show through too. I think I like this being an area of rest up here. Okay, so let me just get green over all these red areas. It's a bubble, isn't it? I don't know, I think I would have been better off just being really loose. I'm going to use some Payne's gray now. Like even like really more abstract, I suppose. Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to just get really abstract with it now. I think that's probably the only way to really do this, 'cause there's just so many little bits and pieces in here. It's helping me to look and in my camera and to put these big dark areas in here. Seems to be helping a lot. Okay. Okay. So these two are when I step back and look at it in my camera, these two shapes are way too noticeable. They're going to take away from my subject. So I need to make them more of a mid-tone value, and I might be able to really get away with using teal. Where was that other blue? Over here. Okay. All right, and then the underside of the leaves are like a really pretty, I don't know, I think it's essentially a brown. I might do a brown out, but I'm gonna make a maybe brown with red. Now you notice I haven't used any white yet. So I might need a little white, I don't know. Put a little white on here. So now I'm just looking for where I have a couple of them that are kind of turning on their side. Actually, there's more yellow in there. So I'm just looking for places where I can make it look like there's a bit of a underside to of the thing. There's definitely one here. You know, and sometimes you just start to notice that something starts to maybe look like the way it's supposed to look, you know? I've got a couple of little fun things starting to happen, and so that's you know, that's what this is, where I'm exploring. I've never figured this out before, so I know it's not gonna look great, and I am being very vulnerable painting this with you right now, but, you know, that's what this is all about. If I'm not brave, I have to show you guys that you know, you can have fun being brave and exploring. Oops, dipped in the red by mistake. I'm dipping in all these the wrong colors by mistake there. Okay, so I think I'm ready to do these flowers now. All right. See if we can do it with a palette knife. It's going to be interesting. Um, so I do have a nice heavy body paint, heavy body white that I'm going to use. Close up the screen. I just don't have room for all this stuff on camera. Okay, so let's put a little bit of color in here. I'm going to start with the pink. And I do like using primary magenta for a pale pink like that, but I like a little bit of the warm red too. So it is very, very pale. I'm not going to need much. It's hard to keep the paint on you want the paint on the back side of the knife. It is hard to do that. It takes a little while to get used to doing that. I think I wanted a little. Oh, that's very pale. It will dry a little bit darker though, because it's acrylic paint. Okay, I got a little bit more color in there. think that might work. And then you want to make sure you have enough that you can actually load it onto your knife. So let's see. Let's start with this one. Is that showing up? Oh, it's hard to see, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Christina. Okay. Get rid of them. Had to make more room, sorry. All right, now I want to, it's hard for me to get the petals that go that way. So let me put one of these tall ones in. Oh, I guess that one's okay. It's really tall. I might have made it too. We have to do the back ones, right? And then come in with the front ones after. Let me make one that's a little bit whiter. Okay, well, not not perfect. Let me make one just a little bit deeper. Don't know how well that worked. Okay, now let's do this next one here. The downward petals. They're foreshortened, so they're not as long. Okay, I'll make some more. Okay. This one kind of comes out. Well, this is a little too much stuff on there for that one. Oh, it's a big one. Okay, kind of went back into that a little bit, but I think it's okay. All right, now this one. Sorry, I have to turn it to do it. Wait. I have to make sure I'm seeing it. Oh, can I do it this way? Maybe I could. Let's see. I guess it's okay. And I'm looking at all the pink, like the underneath ones. Okay. Yeah, I do want these to like touch. So I should have made this bigger. So I'm going to make a couple of these petals come down a little longer so that the white ones that I add later on will overlap those. Okay. Okay. Oops. Oh no, frozen still? I hope you're not. Oh, I don't know why that's happening. My internet I think everybody's internet is a little bit off lately, right? I don't know. Is it just me? Okay, here's the biggie now. Right? All right. So let's see. This one is about here. These have to go up to touch that. So man, this one actually needs to be bigger. Ah. Okay, let's see if I can get this one. Kinda. I need more. Need more stuff. So yeah, it's important to reload your supplies if you're running out. I don't think that's quite enough, so let's get some more. You hear them upstairs? I don't know what they're doing. All kinds of stuff going on, it sounds like. Oh, that was probably way too much magenta. Ugh. Okay. This isn't quite the right direction anymore. Ah. Okay, I am seeing it now, believe it or not. These petals are all going to go like that with the white. Okay, so now I need to make room for my white. And I guess I don't mind if there's a little bit of pink in there. I'm also going to need some yellow in there too. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but all right, let's grab our white. I don't know, do I want yellow in here? I'm not sure. Oh, that is pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. That was just a little Hansa yellow opaque. Okay. Let's practice on one of these first. Gosh. It's kind of working. I'm using all of it up over here. That's kind of working, right? I don't know. Okay. So these go in front. I hope that makes sense what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm going to do some back petals. Okay, and then here's a front petal in white. It's not totally white, but oh, I should have left that one. Now this bit right here, I can put a deeper yellow in there later on. Okay, more back petals with like this color. These are real tall. Okay, I need to mix up some more. Probably all of this. Get it over here. Charlie's coming down. It must be time. Sorry, Charlie, not yet. He's on standby. Okay. Oh, that's a big glob. Holy cow. Are we still here or are we frozen? I typed in hi. All right. Ah. And of course, I'm running out again. Okay, and then I think what I'd have to do, well, maybe I can put the white in now. I'll try it. So now there would be like 4 white petals coming here. And same thing with this. So you would picture the top of the petals would be here. You know, that's what makes that oval. I don't know if I'm making sense at all. Probably not. Hi, Teresa. Okay. And this is just white paint. Okay, here we go. Oh, well, it's gonna have to be good enough. It's gonna take a while for this to dry too. Ooh, well, that's it. That's my crazy idea. I don't know. What do you think? Not too bad, is it? Look at all this paint I still have here. All right, let me make sure this is closed up. And, you know, it's really hard to get paint off of these metal paint knives, so I'm getting at this real quick so it doesn't cause me problems. Now what I could do is kind of get that deeper yellow in there. There's like a deeper yellow in here. We're kind of cheating it in there, right? That's helping a little bit, right? Okay, maybe there'd be a peak of it in here too. And in here. Oops. Yeah, I think the yellow, it really helps getting that deeper yellow in there. It just tells our brain that that's the center, right? I think I need it deeper. Yeah, the yellow separates. Yeah, exactly. Are you guys going to try this? It is a little scary. All right, I don't have a dark enough yellow on this part. I want that a little darker. I might even put just the teensiest little bit of the orange in there too. Oh, it won't let me. have to put it on kind of thing. I don't have heavy body paint. Actually, I do have some heavy body paint. I didn't think of that till just now. I probably could have grabbed some out of my little paint cabinet thing. He's watching something good up there. Brings it out a little bit more, yeah. Okay. So since I have this yellow, this yellow-orange color, let's put a little bit more of this in here and there, right? Kind of looks like a party going on, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put some water on this and seal this up since there's so much paint here. Save it. And what I could do now on this is just go in and maybe tighten it up a little bit more. I don't want to make it too tight, but it's, you know, like this shape, a couple of these shapes that are too abstract. This just looks like a glob. It doesn't look like anything right now. That's what I'm gonna, you know, work on cleaning up. Where's my spray water? Here it is. I just need to seal this up. So I don't know if you guys all saw this, you know, tip that I shared when I did the parrot painting. But this is from Dollar Tree. This has been sitting in there a long time. This probably is dried out. This has been in here a really long time. But this is still wet and there's no mold or anything. But so these are sponges that I got on Amazon. And I could literally just throw this in here, this paint tray, and put this over it. This is from Dollar Tree also. I just cut the corner so it would fit in here. And put this lid on here, and it'll keep that wet. It'll keep it nice for about a month. And then I'm going to relabel it just with the date, because I could have left this tape on here. So yeah, those sponges, they're just cellulose sponges. I think they're about 7 inches by 7 inches. That was the largest I could find. And it is Mega Monet. This was day 5, right? Okay. Yeah, you don't ever have to waste your paint. Set this down over here. And I like labeling it with the date too, because that kind of gets away from me sometimes. So, what I'm seeing is, so what I would do now, like I've been going at it for a while, and probably you probably would feel a little bit drained and tired. This would be a point where I would recommend that you stop and get away from it for a little bit. You can take a photograph of it. You can take it into a different part of your house to look at it. I'm going to sit down in front of the camera and talk to you guys. So let's see, how long have I been painting? Oh gosh, I've been painting longer than I even realized. All right, hold on, let me add another camera. I look terrible. I wasn't going to show myself. Can I make myself smaller? Oh no, I can't. Wait, what just happened? There, a little bit smaller at least. Okay, so actually I guess I should leave this in the big screen. So what I would do now, when you guys paint, how long do you paint for typically when you're painting? I would love to know that. That's better. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. Let's see. Yeah, doesn't it? I get lost when I'm painting. How long does that last for you? About a month or maybe more. Now, I did not put any of my satin glazing liquid in it or anything. I just sprayed water on there. If you mix in like a satin glazing liquid or something like that, it will last longer. Lori paints 4 hours at a time. That's great. That's really good. That's why you get so much done. That is really good. And Lori Fulton also does about 3 to 4 hours at a time. That's great. I am really glad to hear that. Yeah. So what I would do at this point, well, it's not about speed. It's really about concentration and duration. If you can paint for 4 hours at a time, you're doing really, really, really good. I think. And with experience, you'll make better decisions, and it won't take you as long. And as you get more confident, you'll get there quicker because you know what colors you're going to get. You know, you can kind of tell before you do it what you're going to get. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make sense. I actually like my painting better than the reference, but the blue areas are way too off. But that's okay. I can come back in and put more greens in there. And I'll be honest, mixing greens is a weakness of mine. Green can really take over. Jane says, I paint until I feel I'm going to make mistakes. Depends on how immersed I am. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Exactly. And if you see that 3 or 4 strokes or 3 or 4 of the last steps that you did just are not working, it's time to take a break. It's time to stop or take a break. So what I would do at this point, there's a few things to tell me what you see and there's no right or wrong answers, and you're not going to hurt my feelings. But tell me what you see on here that you're like, okay, I would definitely fix that. That's got to go. So I'll name off a couple of things that I see. First of all, I see an upside down Y shape below the biggest flower. And that is really commanding a lot of attention. The blue blobby areas need to be fixed. And I like the oranges. I like that orange. The orange is working really well. I do have a couple of nice greens, but I need some bigger areas of like warm grassy green in here. But it's not as bad as I thought. When it's funny, while I was doing it, I was feeling like, oh gosh, this looks terrible. But it's not as bad as I thought. Tell me what you see that you would fix. And tell me, if you painted this, how would you be feeling right now? What are the thoughts that would be bouncing around in your head? I would love for you to share that. I know that's hard to share, but I would love to hear what kind of thoughts you'd be telling yourself. Okay, let's see what we got here. Lori says, it does make sense. I know I am way better, faster now than when I started in 2017. Exactly. And Lori Cable Olson says, I love the color contrast. I like seeing the turquoise and the red. Yeah, I didn't point out any of the things that I like about it, did I? But I will later. Okay. Christina says, I wish I could paint like I always feel in a rush. Oh. I wonder if you could use music that's like a slower paced music. I used to take when I had hypertension, when I was working as an art director, it was a stressful job at times, and I started to develop hypertension, and my doctor told me to go take meditation classes. And one of the things that I learned in a meditation class, it was a pretty cool class. It was exercise and meditation, was to play music with a certain slower beat to it, and it kind of slows you down and it relaxes you. So I would definitely use music, Christina, but nothing fast paced. Something like maybe classical music that has I forget what it's called. Does anybody know what that's called? The tempo, like a slower down tempo. Try that. That's all I can suggest right now. Okay. Jane says, I would overlap the leaves a little more upper right corner. Yes, that totally needs to be developed. You're right. Good point. I like your orange. It really works. Yeah, the orange works, probably because of the underpainting, that warmth is coming through. And I don't know, orange just really looks good with green. It always does. I love orange too. Some people don't like orange. I love orange. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Lori Olson says, I would feel excited if you paint. You'd feel excited, okay. Christina says, if that was my painting, I would be so proud of myself. What do you say to yourself when you're proud of yourself? What are the words in your head that I want to know literally what you hear in your head. I literally speak to you guys and tell you what I'm thinking. All I say is, oh, this isn't bad, or I kind of like that. Yeah, that's working. I say stuff like that. What do you say? Because you need to say that to yourself. If you find yourself, I'm going to be really gut level honest with you now. If you ever hear yourself saying, oh God, I'm terrible. Who am I fooling? I really suck. I want you to please, you know what? Either call me or message me, reach out to me, please. Me or Shelly. I wish you would. Because that is totally ridiculous and bad. That is a temporary, fleeting moment of the gremlins trying to steal your joy. You need to stop that thinking. If you ever hear a voice saying that to you, stop that thinking and go, okay, I need to go talk to a buddy. I need to find a friend to talk to. Will you guys do that? Because I've said that to myself. I can't tell you how many times I've said that to myself. And I know if I've said it, you've probably said it too. Hopefully you're not saying that to yourself much anymore. Okay. If that were me, some of the red showing through is a little distracting. You're right. It is a little bit too much. I agree, Lori. Thank you for saying that. See, it's good. I have found that when you look at it critically, like what's working, what's detracting or distracting, that's a, it helps. It helps to look at it with that critical eye. We're not being mean. We're looking at it from a standpoint of, would it look better if, what can I take away or whatever. So, guilty of negative thinking. We all are. We all are. You say things like, wow, that really came together. That's good. That's a good way of putting it. Love that. Yeah, red is very powerful. So little bits here and there is all I need. I think I like the red by the reddish tinge by the 4 grouping flower over there, but at the bottom left where I see red, I don't want to see it over there so much anymore. So I will get rid of that. And I think I need at least, like we can tell one leaf, we can tell what 2 or 3 of them are. I think I want one more leaf to be more like, okay, I really know what that is. I really know that is a lily pad. Because there's so many that don't look like lily pads. You only need 1 or 2, and our brain will fill in the rest. But I don't have it strong enough yet that we know for sure that those are lily pad leaves. Does that make sense? So that's what I'll work on next time. And that's it. I love that red and the turquoise color pops for me. Yeah, it's just a little too much turquoise right now. I think it needs a little more phthalo blue added to it. If it went over into the blue, it'll be closer to a green, I think. That didn't make sense. It needs to be a little greener of a blue. All right, you guys, I'm going to call it a night. I'm glad I came down and painted. Yay! So I know that nobody talked about the 9x12 size, but this was a really pretty canvas that I had sitting there. I have a bunch of these 9x12s. I think I ordered them for one of the commission pieces that I do pretty often. But I'm trying to keep these flowers around 8x8. Does this look like something you would try to do, or did it look too hard with the palette knife? I mean, I suppose you could just paint it on an 8x8. And I'm just curious, do you like this style of painting more, where you have to be precise and paint inside the lines? I had more fun painting this one tonight with you guys. But maybe this kind is more fun for you because it's all thought out and it's just mindless. Well, it's not really totally mindless, but you know what I mean. They're very different. This one that I did tonight, I really had to work pretty hard, whereas this one, it's kind of all figured out. I don't know if that makes sense. I want you to try different things. If you're going to do this immersion, the purpose of this is to try different things. Jane says, I like freestyle. Yeah, it's fun, right? The whole idea here is to try different things because you might discover, oh my goodness, all this time I didn't know palette knife painting would be so fun or whatever. Now I do want to try a few other different mediums. It's only day 5. I want to do alcohol inks. I want to do watercolor. I want to do, what else should we do? So throw those comments in there or send me messages on if you've got some other ideas. The other thing that's really cool about lily pads and ponds and all this is pods. They actually have these pods, P-O-D-S, pods. And I got into those for a while. I actually have a couple of large paintings that I did of pods. I don't know why I was so into them. I thought they were, unique. So I might paint some pods. But at some point, probably middle of the month, I'll start painting my my big piece. The idea that I think might work for all of us is to try the small ones, get comfortable with like discovering, you might discover, oh, I really love how orange looks with all of these greens. And maybe that would be what you would use on your large piece. I want you to discover something for yourself that you really want to explore on the big piece. That's why we're doing these small ones first. Hopefully you'll discover something that you want to do on the big one. I think on the big one, I want to use the glass candle holders, these things. I think this is what I'm going to use, you know. I have to wait for the camera to catch up. So remember these? Got these on Amazon. I think this would look really cool on this big canvas. Of course, I'm going to have to put a support behind there. So we'll see. I was also wondering if I could use alcohol ink on this. I might play around with alcohol ink on these. We'll see. I don't know. But these are heavy. But anyway, we'll see. So that's it. I think I said that's it before, didn't I? And I wasn't really done. Hey, Lisa. Thank you. It's not done. You know, it needs more work, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go, and let's see. So is today Tuesday? It doesn't say on my calendar, or is it Wednesday? Oh my God, it's Wednesday. Okay, so tomorrow Shelly is starting the bike. Yeah, I started with a red canvas. Tomorrow is starting the flower bike class. Isn't that exciting? That was a painting that I did years ago, and everybody wanted me to teach that one in person, but I just thought it would be too hard. It would have taken too long. So that's what's really wonderful about the cutouts, is that it makes it easier for everybody to paint it. So I'm excited about tomorrow. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.